are through 3 quarters of play here from Allegiant Stadium in Super Bowl 58. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Only 1 quarter left here in Super Bowl 60 as we get set to begin the 4th. On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Here comes 2nd down. Robinson with another carry. On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. Robinson up the middle. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. Time certainly a factor. Under 40 to play. 2nd down. On the give, here's Robinson. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. What a Super Bowl it's been to this point. Now a critical 3rd down here. Robinson will try to pick it up. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a 1st down. The stadium clock says 0, but the one on your screen is the one that matters, and the officials say yes, it's a timeout with 1 second left to go and a field goal try forthcoming to potentially send us to overtime. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. Certainly some pressure here on Younghoe Koo. With 1 second to go, this to send us to overtime. His kick is good. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. 4 quarters not enough. We're all even, and to overtime we go. Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. And they will play it safe here and bring this one out to the 25. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Well, CD certainly doesn't get any more exciting than this. Overtime in the postseason. Of course, keep in mind things are different than the old way it was. In the playoffs now, both teams guaranteed a possession, so a touchdown here, if they get one, the ball game will not be over.
And partners, we both know many people have called for this change before, and they finally got it after the Buffalo-Kansas City Classic in the 2022 playoffs. Patrick Mahomes and KC, they scored first. Game over. Josh Allen and Bills never touched the football, and people hated that. Now if the game reaches OT, every playoff team has a chance to fight to extend their season. So the plan has got to be, if you win the toss and you take the ball, reach the end zone and score, and put as much pressure on your opponent as possible to try and win a game in OT in the playoffs.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And they will get the conversion on 3rd down, but the clock, a more pressing factor. And with just 9 seconds left in overtime, we get whistles and a timeout. A touchdown would obviously be ideal to start this overtime. They'd still need to play defense, but it's 1st and 10. They hand this off to Harris. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up. James Daniels, the guard, called for the penalty there. They run with Harris. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. Now a timeout called for by the offense. That's their second and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back. Tense moments in overtime of a Super Bowl. Remember, a touchdown doesn't yet clinch it as they come up on second down. A give to Harris. And the defense on him quickly there as they stop him at the 40 for a gain of just 2. Well, if you like drama, especially in the biggest of all games, we are back for the second overtime now in the Super Bowl. What will they draw up to try to keep this opening drive of overtime moving? 3rd and 7. Here's Harris. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. Well, I know you're toward the middle of the field here, but still, 4th down this distance. You got to punt it, right?
That's definitely the first instinct because you say, okay, let's just play some field position. Make sure we don't lose the game here. Turn it over in a key spot. But if you feel really good about your trigger guy, if you feel great about him, you might want to leave the ball in his hands and let him work his magic.
Mike Thomas. Takes a shot here, but to no avail. And it'll be a turnover on downs.
Partner, when you see a running play stop short like that, you just know that the defensive front, they won the battle of leverage and created the push back into the opposing backfield.
And for the offensive coordinator, whether you had 1 yard to go or 20 yards to go on 4th down, now you're probably saying, oh, maybe I should have passed it, right?
Yeah, hindsight is always 20/20.
Hand off now to Robinson. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41. From the 41, here's a 2nd and 4. They'll run again here with Robinson. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. And the timeout coming in here with just 7 seconds remaining in the extra session. All they need is a field goal. Any kind of score here on this second drive would be a game winner. It's 1st and 10. They'll run here with Robinson. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It'll be their second and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Here's Robinson. And he's brought down, but not before a gain of 13, down to the 13. 1st and 10 in the red zone. I think we can safely call this one of the greatest games ever played as we now head to a 3rd overtime of this Super Bowl. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They run. Robinson. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. They've had some success here in overtime on this opening drive running the football right back to that well.
And why not? When you have that kind of success, make them stop you. And until they do, keep going back to that well you just spoke about. I think there's more water there available to them.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. So they cite the right guard this time with a holding penalty.
And so many different assignments you can have at that position, and sometimes you might just be a step too late and have to grab and hold on.
Second down and a run by Robinson. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Now we're going to get a time.